Hello again, and welcome to my talk for the day. Today is an historic day in the life of our diocese. On May the 4th, 1845, 175 years ago, Prebendary John Medley was consecrated bishop at Lambeth Palace in London, England. He was to be the first bishop of Fredericton and was installed in his see city on St. Barnabas Day, June the 11th, just over a month later. The diocese to which Medley came was a new creation, coming about through the division of the Diocese of Nova Scotia. There may have been about 40 church buildings at the time, and many parishes had no building and no permanent clergyman. The new bishop was determined to do something about this state of affairs, and spent the remainder of his life doing so. Medley was a Tractarian. This movement began in Oxford University and included John Henry Newman, Edward Pusey, and John Keble. The reason for the name Tractarian was the publication of a series of essays called Tracts for the Times, which eventually ran to 48 volumes. In it, the writers argued for a return to greater ritual and mystery in worship. This was something of a return to the days prior to the Reformation. The intent of the movement was not to go backwards, but to spark a revival within the Church of England. After the religious wars of the 17th century, the Church had become dominated by latitudinarians and evangelicals. The latter had grown out of the Methodist revivals of the middle years of the 18th century. Medley arrived at Wadham College, Oxford in 1823, about the same time as Newman and Pusey became teachers in other parts of the university. He was clearly influenced by their ideas, and by the late 1830s was contributing to Tractarian publications. During his time in the Diocese of Exeter, Medley faced great personal tragedy. A son and daughter died, as did his wife Christiana. His mother, who had come to look after the family, was killed in a carriage accident in which Medley himself was seriously injured. It was shortly after these events that Medley was offered the bishopric of Fredericton and accepted. It is said that he was the first Tractarian appointed as bishop in the Church of England. His arrival in the Low Church Diocese of Fredericton was regarded with suspicion. Due to the size of the Diocese of Nova Scotia, the churches in New Brunswick had developed along Congregationalist lines, rarely seeing the bishop. Medley saw his role as hands-on, making regular visits across the diocese in the early years. This did not go down well with some. Medley left an indelible mark upon our diocese and our province, and much of it was due to his belief in the mystery of worship, the centrality of the sacraments, and his love of Gothic revival architecture. Medley disliked the New England meeting house design of many of the churches he found in the diocese, tactlessly describing them as barns, and worked hard for change. Some buildings that we have today retain their pre-Medley form, such as St. Luke Gondola Point. Others, including Stone Church in St. John, added a chancel during his time. And then, of course, there are many examples of what came to be known as Medley churches across our diocese. The cathedral, of course, is built in the Gothic revival style. Ultimately, Medley left an ordered and functional diocese on his death in 1892. He had won over most of those who opposed him during his early years, notably the clergy in St. John. During his last decade, he was quite ill. hence the appointment of Bishop Kingdon as coadjutor. Until that time, he was someone of great energy and vision, though not always an easy character. Today we give thanks for the life, faith, and ministry of John Medley. Once again, thank you for watching. I trust you're keeping well, and I hope that you might join us this evening for our litany at 6. But until next time, God bless and stay safe.